Welcome back, tuning into today's video. We're doing the JMA month-ahead forecast today. It's updated as it does every Friday. The Japanese model looking ahead at the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast for the coming month. Be taking us into March, so we're going to the end of winter and into the start of spring with this update, although of course we haven't really had any winter, haven't really had any cold weather away from the Scottish mountains where there's been quite a bit of snow there. It'd be interesting to see whether it's showing any change from this deluge as we go out towards the end of winter and the start of spring. Before I get on with the video, just to talk about the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at gazweathervids.com. If you press play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazweathervids.com. And thanks very much for doing that. Just say my eyes aren't very good today, so I haven't got the camera on. That's why you can't see me. Hopefully you can hear me okay, though. So we're going to start off with the first weekly period, 500 millibar forecast, which will be taking us from the 17th to the from the 7th, to the 14th of February. What you need to know of this, that the British Isles is upside down. We're just there. You can't really make that out either, but we are there, and we're being obliterated really by this giant blue mass here, which is a deep trough of low pressure, very intense trough of low pressure, sitting around the British Isles, sitting to the west of the British Isles, being fed in from the Atlantic, and also being brought in by a really strong roaring jet stream running in off the Atlantic as well. So for the coming week, we're not going to see any real changes to the pattern that's been driving the pattern throughout the winter. Really, we're going to keep the trough of low pressure very, very dominant, and it's going to be bringing in more bouts of rain. Now, I'm not sure we're going to have quite the sort of stormy winds that we've had over the last few weeks, but I think it will still be a very disturbed week next week, and there will be more heavy rain. There is the potential at times that we could get some stormy winds. Nothing particularly severe is showing up this morning, but that doesn't mean that we won't get more stormy winds next week. There is the potential with this weather pattern at any point that we could bring in sort of a bomb low pressure off the Atlantic, kind of thing we're going to have tonight and tomorrow, to be honest. Although one of the main newspapers this morning claiming that tomorrow's storm is going to be on a par with 1987, just to say it isn't. Hopefully this won't be my Michael Fish moment, but it isn't going to be on a par with 1987, where the Daily Express is getting these headlines from all the time. I've no idea. It's going to be bad. There will be severe gales, there'll be heavy bouts of rain at times, but it certainly isn't going to be the sort of devastation that we had in October 1987. But a nasty storm tonight and tomorrow, admittedly, but they're going over the top as they usually do. So that's the first weekly period from the 7th to the 14th, going on to the next weekly period, which takes us from the 14th to the 21st of February. Well, the trough shrinks a little bit. The blue colours do shrink a bit in intensity and size, but really, look at this, continue to stick around the British Isles there. So that's more low pressure persisting through that middle part of February. No sign of the trough really lifting out away from the British Isles in that period. It's just perhaps isn't quite as intense, so you perhaps won't be expecting the severe gales. But it's still unsettled. There'll still be a lot of rain driving in off the Atlantic with that as well. Notice the jet stream through the Atlantic is somewhat weaker as well, and maybe shifting a little bit further south around that trough of low pressure. But overall, it's a continuation of an unsettled pattern there through the middle of February. And then finally, moving ahead to the final 2-weekly period, which takes us from the 21st of February through to the 7th of March. Well, again, the intensity of the colours is decreasing, so we haven't got that sort of dark blue obliterating British Isles, so you can't make it out. You can see where we are, just there. But the blue colours are still there, so the trough is still going on, really. The suggestion is that low pressure is still around the British Isles and stretched out into the Atlantic as well. Certainly no sign of high pressure anywhere, really, across northwestern Europe or in the Atlantic. So, well, there's no sign of a trough lifting out. You would expect it to still be very unsettled going through to the end of February and into the start of March. And if this is right, we're seeing unsettled conditions, wet weather at times, still coming in off the Atlantic, even as we exit the winter and go into spring. That would be quite extraordinary to carry this pattern on through the rest of February. Again, not to the same intensity perhaps, but to carry the unsettled pattern on, not get any high pressure through to the end of February and into the start of March, that would be quite extraordinary. We would really be looking at a proper record-breaking sort of period then, I think. It would be a very, very wet period indeed. But JMA is consistent with this. The Japanese model last week was showing that the trough didn't want to lift out. We wanted to keep it unsettled throughout the 4-week period. It's the same again today for this week's update. So it's very concerning, really, for anybody that's threatened by flooding or anybody that's had flooding. It is concerning that the JMA model, the Japanese, is seeing no sign of high pressure really building in the next month. And whilst the intensity of below pressures perhaps decreases and we may not see the severe gales and the flooding rains late February into March, it's still an unsettled pattern, and there will still be bouts of rain coming in off the Atlantic with that in fairly frequent regularity. So quite concerning update again from the JMA. We do need some high pressure now to start drying things out. There's no sign of it on that particular model. Doesn't mean to say that it won't happen. All these seasonal models, long range models, are experimental, so you can't take them too seriously. It's a guide, it's an indication, but there'll be other models. Certainly I think the CFS is beginning to go this way, which is suggesting that high pressure could start to build in towards the end of February. But certainly for JMA this morning anyway, keeping it very unsettled for the next month. That's it for now. It's a weekend forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.